Everything's falling down in front of us, but we are back. Welcome to Two Dudes and a Mexican. I'm your host, Peter Soprano. To my right, D Money Drizzy Dre, the new champion.
The reigning.
And we are back at Blackjacks, our home station. We are live on YouTube, so if you have a chance, go on YouTube /C/Two Dudes and a Mexican, and you can see us live. If not, you can listen. You're listening to us right now. It's Spotify, on iTunes, on Spreaker. We're everywhere. We're gonna be everywhere for you for the rest of the year.
P, I know I've said this a lot of times, but there's nothing like being at Blackjacks on a Sunday morning right before kickoff, especially this time of year where it's playoffs, implications. Home for college football and NFL, and and a lot of things are happening. So let's get to it.
So I want to start. We're not even we're just going everything off the head this show. I want to talk about the game that we just saw, Penn State versus Ohio State yesterday. Ohio State jumping out to the huge 21-0 lead. We saw Penn State in a flash after they lost their quarterback.
Yeah.
They lost their quarterback, and they made a huge comeback with Levis and cut it 21-14.
2 touchdowns in 25 seconds.
And then they had the ball back again, and they could only kick a field goal. They had a chance to tie it up.
They did have a chance.
Then they ended up kicking a field goal because they had a couple penalties, 21-17. But Ohio State found a way to pull it out. And now Ohio State was favored to win this game by 18 points. They didn't cover the 18.
Which we both called, by the way.
Yeah. Are you impressed that they were able to beat Penn State as a number 8 ranked team, or you a little worried that they had this much problems with Penn State?
No, I'm not worried that they had this much problems with Penn State. Like I said, we both did call it. I mean, they won by 11. I knew it was going to be a closer game, but I didn't expect it to be close because of these situations.
Stupid turnovers.
Exactly. So I'm not gonna lie, it was a big game. It was sort of sloppy in my opinion. Yeah. But Ohio State did get the job done. Penn State's defense did step up at one point, creating turnovers and all that. But yeah, again, I did expect it to be close. I didn't expect it to be a blowout.
Let me ask a question. Ohio State came in this week number 2. LSU was number 1. Did them beating Penn State, a top 10 ranked team, do you think that pushed them ahead of LSU, or do you think they're still number 2?
I personally think they're still number 2. What do you think?
I would still leave them at number 2. I think LSU has done enough so far this year that if they run the table, I don't think there's anybody that should be higher than them. No matter what. So even though, now keep in mind, Ohio State does play another top-ranked team next week in Michigan.
Wow!
And then they have their Big Ten championship game, which would either be against Wisconsin or Minnesota. So it'll be another highly ranked team. If they win both of those games, there's going to be people that saying, "Listen, they just beat 3 straight top 10 type teams. They should be number 1."
I agree.
And you know what? They have a fair case for that.
Absolutely.
Despite what I've said with LSU, and LSU have been, in my opinion, have been the best team all year. If you beat 3 straight top 10 ranked teams, you deserve to be moved up.
You got to be in the conversation.
But I think they're going to lose. But we'll get to that. I think we're going to lose one of those games.
Whoa.
I think they're going to lose one of those games. I don't know.
I think so too.
So I'm not going to let them count their eggs already. So with that said, that's enough college football right now. We'll get more into it next week because we're getting close to the championship week and we're getting close to the real Final Four. But one other thing I wanted to touch on. One game that I called last week, I put Oregon on upset alert.
Called it.
And they took the L. I mean, listen.
He did call it.
I said that both of the teams, now Utah completely won their game by blowout, but I said that both Oregon and Utah were under so much pressure to win out. They had to win out, and they had to hope the other one wins out because this loss by Oregon not only hurts Oregon, it hurts Utah because now if Utah beats Oregon in the Pac-12 championship, and now it's like beating a number 12, number 13 team. It's completely different than beating a number 6 ranked team.
Exactly.
So Utah's not going to get the credit they probably deserve for beating Oregon. So it hurts both of them. I think it eliminates both teams.
That's a bummer. That's a bummer.
I think the only way Utah can get in now is if Auburn beats Alabama and if Georgia loses to LSU. Now, Georgia can definitely lose to LSU, but they have to be rooting hard for Auburn to beat Alabama for Utah to get in. That's the only way I see them getting in. What do you think about that? Do you think Utah can still get in, or you think they're done because of the?
No, I think they're
loss?
done. I mean, dude,
hurt.
You're right on, and you could just feel the air being taken out of my lungs. It sucks. I love Utah, but I think with that Oregon loss, I think it's over. Right. And I mean, I guess there could be a possibility one way or another, but I think at this point it's just it's just being hopeful. And and the more realistic, it's just it's over.
All right, so listen, let's move on to NFL. We're here for Sunday. It's Sunday football. I want to know what game of all the games today. What game do you want to see the most?
The Green Bay and San Francisco game. That's the game I'm hyped about.
Sunday night football, baby.
Sunday night football. I'm so happy they flexed it to Sunday night. This is a great game. I mean, look, we've seen San Fran, battle tested, and unfortunately they're coming up short in one of them, but they've also surprised us, and a lot of them actually. But again, being an NFC team like San Francisco, being the number one in the division, they got to be in these type of tough games, because once playoff comes, they're going to be looking at teams like New Orleans, possibly Seattle. NFC Championship type games. I mean, this could be a preview of it. I mean, this could be a preview of it. And Aaron Rodgers, dude, you can't count him out. Again, I know San Fran's been playing lights out. They've been playing really well. I know Green Bay has been playing really well as well. But they've had a couple of hiccups on both sides of the ball. I'm really curious to see how Aaron Rodgers does against the San Francisco defense. What do you think?
That's what I'm most interested about, because that is one of the games that I would have picked. I'll pick another one because you picked that one, but that is the game of the week in my opinion, and it's going to be very interesting to see. San Fran has probably the top or the second best defense in the entire league, and Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league. So it's going to be, and I just feel sometimes you just get a feeling about a game. I think this is going to be probably the worst performance for the San Francisco defense. I think Rodgers is going to put up probably 2 or 3 touchdowns. I would say maybe 200. He won't put up a great amount of yards. I think he'll probably put up maybe 250, 260, in the 240 to 260 range. But I think he's going to throw 2 to 3 touchdowns, and I think that this is one of those games where I think the San Francisco offense needs to step up. I think they have a chance to run the ball at Green Bay.
Is Kittle still out?
Kittle is playing. Okay. However, they said he has a broken bone in his ankle. So he may not be the same as the Kittle that we know how great he can be. If you had to pick a winner this game, who's going to win this?
If I had to pick a winner in this game, I'm going with Green Bay in this game. I think Green Bay pulls it off. Again, Aaron Rodgers, And the one thing, and this is the one thing that sticks out to me is Aaron Rodgers. This time of year, playoff implications, this is when he gets hot. This is, this is the Aaron Rodgers that we all fell in love with. And this is the type of Aaron Rodgers that I think is going to show up. Now, I can't disclude San Fran. I mean, obviously, they've been playing really good. And if you tell me they're going to win, I can't argue with you. But if you had to put a gun to my head and say who's going to win this game, I'm going to have to say Green Bay.
Don't tell the producer to put a gun to your head.
Because he'll pull the trigger regardless.
He'll do it. Now, just quickly, one more touch on that game. I think that Aaron Rodgers, because I want to pick a winner for that. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a good game. However, I think San Francisco offense is going to find a way to win that game. And it's going to be a higher scoring game than people think. I think people are going to think it's going to be a defensive battle. You have 2 teams that have been playing good defense all year. And I think I'm going to flip it, and I think that it's going to be a high-scoring game. And I think the 49ers find a way to win that game.
Okay, and if they do find a way to win that game, and again, which I wouldn't be surprised, that'll be big for them. That'll be big momentum for them.
That may actually make the producer actually give them some credit.
Yeah.
If they actually do it. But the game I want to see, there's actually 2 games that I really want to see this week, and I think it's 2 prove-me games. I think it's the Dallas Cowboys versus the New England Patriots, because Dallas has been mostly up, but they've been up and down this year. They've played great against good teams. They played bad against bad teams. Obviously, the loss to the Jets. But when they have both their tackles, because they have both tackles versus the Jets, when they have both their tackles, they've played very well. And now they're playing against New England, who I said the AFC is very overrated. So I want to see the Dallas Cowboys go into New England and find a way to win that game. So I'm very interested in that game.
That's a really interesting game, honestly. And to me, that's a game I wouldn't touch. That's just a game you just sit back, enjoy, and watch. And if I had to throw a second game in there as well, and if I had to, obviously, our
it's 4 o'clock. There's 4 o'clock. There's not much game.
But if I had to throw a second game in, I think another game to keep a lookout for is the Rams game in Baltimore. Baltimore game, like I said, in my opinion, in the NFC, this is a must-win game for the Rams. So I'm really curious to see what offense and what defense shows up at home against the hot Baltimore Ravens team.
That's a game that on Pete's Corner we split our picks as you went with the Baltimore Ravens to cover, and I went with the Rams to not only cover but win the game outright. My second game that I really want to see this week is the Seattle Seahawks and Philadelphia Eagles. Seahawks have been playing well. Nobody's really been able to shut them down. Even against the 49ers' top defense, Seattle was able to still put up some points, and it was a great game. They won that game in overtime. And the Philadelphia Eagles have been completely up and down all year. We know we respect what they can do because they have playmakers, but the problem that I have with Philadelphia is that today the injury bug just completely bit them. They're not going to have Jordan Howard. He got ruled out in the last 5 minutes. They're not going to have Alshon Jeffrey because he got ruled out in the last 5 minutes. So it's just they just get killed with an injury bug. Hopefully, if you had bet this game earlier and you jumped on it maybe about an hour or two ago, because the line's probably changing as we speak. It's probably changing as we speak.
I mean, on
now.
Pete's Corner, I had Seattle as my underdog pick, and then as soon as I glanced at the phone,
Now
Seattle was
Seattle's
-1. I was like, wait, like I had to change right on the spot. Luckily, I had another backup, but
yeah. That's how fast it changed. You got to get when you see a game you like, you got to bet it early. Just like I liked the Atlanta Falcons, and they were 2.5.
Called it early in the week too, and it was jumped up and down.
So you got to get on these games early when you see the spread. I mean, you can let it move a half a point, but when it moves that half a point, you got to see is it in your advantage or disadvantage. If it's in your disadvantage, then you need to jump on it right now. If it's in your advantage, maybe you can wait a little bit. So those are the games that you got to jump on.
And if I had to plug something in real quick before we move along, again, guys, that's why we want you to tune in to Pete's Corner this Tuesday, where we're going to give you all the games early in the week. We have a lot of games on Thanksgiving, and again, no more bye week, so we're giving you all the games, and we're going to give it to you nice and early this week. Well, we're going to give you the Thanksgiving games early on Tuesday, correct?
Yeah.
And then all the games on Sunday, but again, so that way you guys can go ahead and pick the games that you guys want to watch, and not just the ones that we pick.
Yeah, and it's going to be like that for the rest of the year. So pay attention to Pete's Corner if you want to check on any of the games that you want to look at. But listen. Not only is it Sunday football, but it's also Sunday of the Survivor Series.
Yes.
This guy has a belt on his shoulder. This guy, and listen, we don't cover wrestling that much, but we do cover the 4 big ones. We've covered it in Arizona when we covered the Royal Rumble.
Right.
We were at the MetLife when we covered WrestleMania, and we did talk about SummerSlam from Vic's house, actually. So we want to get this 4th one going. This is Survivor Series. This is the last one. And it's actually been exciting the past couple weeks. NXT has NXT has infused a lot of stuff into these matches. Like I remember, and luckily, when the superstars were actually trapped over there in Saudi Arabia, they were on the tarmac and they were there for hours.
That might have been the best.
That's the best thing.
That might have been the best error / mistake or anything that could have happened to the WWE, because ever since then,
everything's been good.
Everything's been good, and it's not just because of the NXT, but these new faces, these new storylines.
So, did you hear the story from Adam Cole about what actually happened? So,
where in Saudi Arabia?
No. About how they contacted him.
Oh no, I didn't.
So he said they called him up probably about 2 hours before he had to jump on a plane. They said, "Listen, we need you to jump on a plane right now. We need you to get to where SmackDown is."
Wow.
And they called up everybody because they were in SmackDown is their biggest show. That's their flagship show now because that's on Fox. That's going to get the most viewers. And all their superstars are stuck on an airplane overseas.
That's insane.
So they were calling everybody up saying, "Can you get there in an hour? Can you get there in an hour?" Adam Cole said he was changing into his gear as he was on the airplane. So
that's insane.
Listen, this is just a wrestling show. You can't put that on right now. So listen, we will flip the table. All right. But when he got there, he said he's lacing up his wrestling boots because he went from the airplane directly to the arena. So he had no time to think about it. Paige who actually said they actually let her go because her contract had run out.
Yeah.
They called her in.
That's insane.
She said, "What are you calling me for? You fired me 2 days ago. You fired me 2 days ago."
Oh, man.
And they're calling everybody, and that's how they rounded everybody up, and they created the NXT invasion that night, and from there it's been nuts.
I love it, and I was thinking about it last night. I'm looking forward to see how this plays out tonight, how this plays out in our future pay-per-views with the Royal Rumble around the corner. And honestly, you know what? This might, again, I'm thinking a little bit ahead. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how WrestleMania plays out for Tampa Bay. You know how WrestleMania plays out for Tampa Bay with all these new with all these new artists in the on the roster now.
Well, despite
we got a hater producer right now.
That's despite what our producer is saying. Listen, now I'm not gonna lie. I don't think the Survivor Series card itself is good. I don't think it's
not good at all.
I thought last night was the steal of the show. I thought every match last night was awesome.
Which I haven't seen, by the way, but
listen, it's. I don't want to ruin it for you guys that haven't seen it, but the women's War Games match may have been the best match of the entire show. That was so awesome. What are you doing, yo? Listen, the women's War Game match was unbelievable. Like Rhea Ripley completely showed out.
I saw clips of that, and my God, that to me that looked like the match of the night. And I can't believe it went that long.
Yeah, it went about 45 minutes for that match.
Shout out to them.
You're still talking about this.
Yeah, and if you go towards, if you want the moment of the whole event, it has to be in the final match when Ciampa and Cole made the moment of the match. Like I said, I'm not going to ruin it for you guys if you haven't seen it yet, but it was an unbelievable event. Now, for what are your impressions for now upcoming for Survivor Series tonight?
I'm excited. The one card I'm looking at right now that's appealing to me, the men's and the women's Survivor Series elimination match. You know, I'm curious to see as far as who NXT's gonna bring out.
Yeah.
You know who's gonna be a part of that, and I just
we know the women's they announced that last night.
Yeah, the women's
but the men we don't know.
But the men's we don't know yet. You know, I do expect the women's to be very, very, very fun. Obviously the men's as well, but I'm just curious to see who they bring out. I'm curious, and if I had to make a bold prediction, man, I think we might see Finn Balor back tonight.
That'll be interesting. That'll be now. So you think he's gonna be on Team NXT?
I think he'll be one of the surprises on Team NXT tonight.
All right. Will we see KO? He's gonna be on the show, but I mean, is he gonna be? What team is he gonna be on?
Yes.
He's supposed to be on Raw, but he showed up in NXT, said he's back in NXT. Like, is he going to be on that NXT team or is he going to come out with Raw?
I think it might be one of those situations. Remember when Stone Cold flipped on with the Invasions? I think it might be one of those scenarios where he shows up for Raw and turns on them and takes his shirt off and has an NXT shirt. But who knows? That's another storyline that I'm very curious to keep an eye on because, like I said, you know what? That whole Saudi Arabia thing might have been the best thing that happened because now with these new phases, new storylines, just a lot going on. So it's great. What about you?
Well, I said I don't think that is going to be. I think the best part about tonight is going to be the surprises. I don't think it'll be the matches itself.
No.
So I want to know who's going to be on Team NXT. I want to know if KO decides to leave Raw, who's going to be replacing him. So it's a lot of different moving parts that can happen tonight. If you're looking at somebody who could be a breakout star tonight, I'm going with Rhea Ripley because it seems to be her weekend. Last Wednesday, she had a great match against Becky Lynch. On Friday, she pinned Charlotte, and then yesterday she was the star of War Games. Who stands out tonight?
And what? And we're talking about like in the matches in general, or
just for the night. Who's gonna be the breakout star?
I don't know about the breakout star, but the one card I'm looking at that might potentially steal the show might be The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan. Yeah. I think we could both agree on who we think is going to win, who we know is going to win. Yeah. But I think this is going to be a really, really, really fun show to watch. Producer, who do you think?
Is that your match of the night?
That's my dark horse match of the night.
What's your match of the night?
Honestly, surprisingly, well, not surprisingly though, but I'm going to go with the women's elimination match. I think this is going to be a very fun, exciting, offensive.
Hey, we're cutting
bodies everywhere.
Listen, I'm actually going to go with, surprisingly, Brock versus Rey Mysterio.
Really? Okay.
The reason why is
and they can light it up.
the reason why is people forgot Brock was actually a really good wrestler and he can put it together well. Mysterio's a good performer, even though I don't like Mysterio. I think that's going to surprise people and actually be I think that could be one of the best matches of the match. So, best matches of the night. So, with that said, listen, we will be here, not here, but we will be Agave on Tuesday. We will be live. We will be back with you. Like we said, give you everything. Talk about the football game, starting from Thanksgiving. But until then, enjoy Survivor Series tonight. Enjoy the NFL games today.
Make a lot of money.
Make all the money and catch us on Tuesday. We're out. Peace.
Peace.
Let's do it.